What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Aaron, and today we are bringing you yet another project. Behind me we have a 2002 Volkswagen GTI, and as you can see, we've already got the hood up on it. Unfortunately, a little late for the introduction process. Bought this car a little while ago. It is a 1.8T with a 5-speed manual transmission. Now, when I bought this car, it was already begun having work on it, and since I've had it, I finished pulling the transmission out. We were told it was a clutch that was previously diagnosed by another shop, and so basically I told the guy, if you can prove that it runs, I will buy it off you. And so we basically bolted the starter back in it. I had a spare battery kicking around in the back of my truck. We threw the battery in it and we were able to get it started. So based on the fact that it was a running vehicle, I took his word for it that it was just a clutch, and we brought it home. Overall, the car is in really good shape. Just both sides at the front of the doors, there's a little bit of rust there, the fender. Other than that, there's definitely some other stuff that needs replacing. The inner front fender liners. But the body itself is in excellent shape. It does have an aftermarket grille, aftermarket headlights. And yeah, so I did put a new hood strut on it so the hood holds itself open. Now for the real fun, so like I said, I've already got the transmission out and have been working on it. We had a bit of rain, so everything's more rusty than it was. So they smoked this clutch, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it off now, but it got it so hot that this ring gear actually separated from the flywheel. And again, you can kind of see it here where it got super hot. It actually changed color. And then here's the pressure plate. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong there. Metal on metal. And you can see here these little fibers. There's some more there. That is what's left of the friction disc on that side. It's supposed to look like that. This is what it does look like. So, therefore, proper diagnosis by that other shop. And you can see the transmission there hanging on the bottom. We just got a block supporting the engine right now. I do have a support bar that I put on top for raising and lowering the engine, but I didn't want to leave the hood open in the weather, so I took that bar off of there for now. Okay guys, so for those of you who aren't super familiar with the workings of a clutch, here's how it breaks down. Your flywheel is bolted to the engine. The flywheel is then bolted to this pressure plate, and then this friction disc goes in between the two, which then your tranny shaft goes through the middle of this disc. So what happens is that sits in there, this pressure plate sits on top. We'll just kind of sort of line it up here. So as your flywheel and your pressure plate are spinning, this disc, it's kind of hard to do, but is free to spin separate from the rest of it. So when you push your clutch in, it pushes on all these springs and it provides a gap between this surface and this surface, which allows this to spin freely in there. So as you can see, this spins around, and then when you let your clutch out, the flywheel and pressure plate then grab this disc, which in turn starts spinning your transmission shaft. So if we were to stand this up, so you can imagine the engine on the flywheel side, and then obviously your transmission is there. And then when that starts to grab, it then starts turning your transmission shaft, which is pretty hard to do one-handed. But anyways, so then it starts to spin that, and then your transmission goes through all your gears, which then starts turning your axles. There you go. See? So that shaft spins, and then it turns your axles. So that's how that works. So unfortunately, this car has been a bit of a rush. Not too much time doing video as far as the repair process is concerned. What's today's date? June 5th of 2022. I'm sure everybody's feeling the prices at the pump right now. They are pretty high. I'm driving an F350 dually, so I mean that thing's obviously not the greatest on fuel. And I don't need to be driving the truck all the time. Obviously, I do use it to pick up projects such as these cars, side-by-side, stuff like that. But I don't need to be driving it every day back and forth to work. And so I do need something that's better on fuel. Obviously, a small car such as this GTI is going to be perfect. The only way it could get any better is if it was a TDI. That's another story. I do have a Rabbit pickup truck that I did a TDI swap in. Unfortunately, it's far from being done. I've got to do boost piping, wiring, and a few other things. But like I said, a story for another time. So that's it for this project at the moment, guys. We're in the process of putting the clutch back in. Like I said, it's a bit of a rush, so I just do not have time to be recording and doing a whole lot of explaining, but hopefully some of you guys have a better understanding of how a clutch works and how it connects the motor to the transmission and the disengagement in between. And next time you guys see this car, it'll be driving off this trailer instead of winching it on. Other than that, we've got some other repairs to do, such as exhaust. For whatever reason, they straight piped the end of the muffler, so we're going to put a muffler back on it. I do have to do an out of province, unfortunately, but we'll just give it a quick inspection, find out what it does need, and we'll get those parts on order too. The other thing I will mention, I did order the clutch through Rock Auto. It is made in China, but it was just under 300 bucks Canadian for a solid flywheel conversion. Originally this car is supposed to have a dual mass flywheel. Anywhere locally it was about $900 to do a solid flywheel conversion, and the dual mass was just over $500. So from Rock Auto it was under $300 Canadian to get the solid conversion, including the flywheel, and it also came with a release bearing, all new bolts, etc. And then the shipping, I believe, was about $140. Either way, cheaper than $900. I couldn't get a better price anywhere else. I don't know if it was due to the weight or what, but the shipping was a little screwy, plus the long weekend. But eventually it did show up. Super happy with the quality as far as looks goes. It looks like a good clutch. The brand was Perfection Clutch, I believe. Anyway, still made in China. It didn't look all that bad once I received it, so hopefully once we get it in the car, it's going to last us quite a while. If not, well, hopefully next go around money won't be so tight and we're just going to throw a race clutch in it. So yeah, I think I should be getting a bigger discount. So shout out to Rock Auto for having wicked pricing for all the times I mentioned these guys, I'm probably getting them a little bit of business. So, yeah, I think I deserve a bigger discount. I do a lot of business through those guys. I'm going to say 90% of the time I'm ordering through them. Air filters, engine oil filters. If you guys want to buy quality stuff, my Ford diesel, I buy Ford Motorcraft oil and fuel filters from Rock Auto at a huge discounting compared to the dealership. So if you're looking for the dealership quality without the dealership price, I highly recommend those guys. And of course, buy in bulk. So you do pay for shipping, but if you can buy like 3 filters at a time, you're gonna save huge over the dealership. And even if you're looking at like a Fram filter or a Wix filter, you're still gonna save money versus going to Canadian Tire, Napa, or wherever else. But that's all for this time, guys, so I gotta get back to it, but we'll catch you in the next one.